All right, apologies for the crap lighting, but I was on the way over to pick up a family member from the airport. Had a little bit of a internal thought about like procrastination and imposter syndrome. It's something that I've been suffering with or dealing with for quite a while. More on the imposter syndrome side. Like, you know, my biggest thing is, you know, if I'm gonna do something, I'm you know, content and YouTube and blogging and whatever, a lot of it is like, why should they listen to me, or why should someone pay attention to what I have to say as opposed to this dude that's super popular and really well known? And to put it bluntly, like, fuck all that. What I've always kind of held back on is like, you know, what do I have to say that hasn't already been said with someone else? And while that could potentially be true, I think the nice thing about everyone having their own voice and being able to share their own specific message is a lot of people like myself and people in a similar spot are a lot closer to reality nowadays than the people that have already made it and have already like succeeded in whatever it is they're doing. And that doesn't mean that what we have to say isn't any less true, you know, isn't any less realistic. If anything, it's more realistic because you have a much closer grasp of the day-to-day than the people that have already built their businesses. They've already made millions and billions of dollars, and now they're like sipping boba tea on a private jet while they're buying their fourth company that week. You know, I think that the reality, or they're so far gone with reality or the day-to-day of like the common people, that the message that they're coming in is like how easy it is for them to do whatever it is that they want to do. Like, again, I love Dave Ramsey, but he's the first example that popped in my head. His whole concept of like buy each house cash, especially if you're going to buy real estate, is like wildly out of the picture for a lot of people. And for the average earning person, I mean, I get it. Like, there is a value that comes with that. But I think a lot of the concepts that he talks about, while many of them are very true and extremely helpful, are, I don't want to say outdated, but I think his approach for most people is just like not even close to what a lot of people are experiencing. Like, if you're in a position where you're trying to pay off your debt, his advice is like, well, just work more hours or just work more jobs. And it's like, you can only take on so much before you drive yourself insane. So I don't know. That's just a weird example. Anyway, my point is, post a video, write the article, put it out there. Like, you would be surprised at how well your message is received if you talk from the heart and you genuinely create something of value with a purpose, and you're passionate about what you're putting out there, and you have pride in your work. And you know, there's so many cases where I'm a leading example of this, where I'll like not post something because I'm not confident in my knowledge base behind the topic. But at the same time, there are millions of people who don't even know the first thing about your video topic or whatever you're about to talk about. Like, for example, I had a vending machine business, which I have since sold off, and I'll still talk about it from time to time. But like, when I talk about what products go in a vending machine, I in my world, in my bubble, it's so common sense that I forget that there's millions, or call it tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of people that want to get into a business like vending, but don't know where to start. And I have a much higher, a much farther advantage, I'm much farther ahead than they are. So I have in my bubble, comparatively to people that are killing it in vending, I was nowhere close to them. I had maybe 10 locations. I was doing okay financially, but then I compare myself to guys that are like multimillionaires in vending with hundreds of locations, and I'm like, man, I'm so far off from them. Why should I post any content about vending if I've only got 10 locations? But then you got to remember, I've got 10 locations, and there's people that don't even know how to get their first one, and that's perfectly fine. So that's my point, is like, everyone has, you don't even have to have subject matter. You just have to be enthusiastic about the topic, or like enjoy the topic you're talking about. And it will get well received if the message is good, if the value is there. And that's really the point of this whole thing, this whole video. And if I could just leave you with one thing, is who cares? Like, chances are no one's really going to see this video anyway, this specific one, but the video that you'll post or the article you'll post. And if they do, great. And if you're starting to get feedback on it or comments, whether that's good or bad, great. That means that it's getting traction. And you know, I've posted plenty of spicy videos that aren't with the traditional value or traditional viewpoints of people, because it's what I believe to be true. And sure enough, people will leave their thoughts on it. And I think it leaves a topic of discussion, or it's open for discussion in terms of what other people's thoughts are on a certain topic. And that's what you want. Like, if it's something of value and it means something to you, put it out in the world. You never know what opportunities or what can come of it. So as long as you're not being overly aggressive, or, you know, against, like, if you're doing everything lawfully, I guess is the way I'll say it, is you should be proud of what you put out. And I think that's what everyone should do, is just put out stuff that you enjoy, put out stuff that you're happy about, that you love doing, you're passionate, all that stuff. And, you know, just see what happens. I wouldn't expect anything to happen for years. Like, I've posted hundreds, or at this point probably thousands of videos across all platforms, and I could give two shits if I go full time in this. I would love to go full time in content, but I like sharing my viewpoints, and for whatever it's worth, it helps people from time to time, and it makes me feel better, because it's like a therapy almost to me. Great, then awesome, then keep doing that. But again, for a lot of people, they use the excuse that they don't know enough about a topic to prevent them from ever doing anything. And that's why the people that are really popular keep getting more popular, because there's so many people out there that have an amazing message, and they would actually be able to connect better with their audience than the person that's already extremely popular and just continues to get bigger, because there's so many people that will never get started. So anyway, that's my point. And if you like this or want to chat more, would love to connect, like, comment, subscribe, hit some buttons. It really helps me out. Share it with someone if you want to show them this. That'd be cool. Obviously, really low budget channel. I don't put any money into this. I just put up my camera and record. So hopefully you enjoy my rambling. But thank you so much for watching. God bless, and stay tuned.